Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Today was a Monday. It was all right. It wasn't bad. Overall, pretty textbook for it. Definitely feel like we're in our busy season, our busy era at work. So that is what it is. But we got through it. Nothing too crazy. Food corner for last night was pretty good. I did my hamburger hot dog fry, except we chilied it the fuck out. So we had chili cheese fries, chili burger, and did I say chili hot dogs? Chili hot dogs, chili cheese fries. That's what I missed. There you go. So yeah, we were just chilied my brains out. So yeah, that was good. That was yummy. Enjoyed that. Let's see here. I don't really think there's anything else to report. Hopefully your Monday was good and you got that lasagna and everything was Garfield for you. Let's see here. I'm gonna do my usual startup and then we can get into some news. Do 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 do. Ooh, push that down. Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Whew. From Reuters. Philippines says Chinese Coast Guard intentionally collided with its boats. The Philippines on Monday accused Chinese Coast Guard vessels of intentionally colliding with its vessels on a resupply mission in a disputed part of the South China Sea, as ties between the Southwest Asian U.S. ally and Beijing deteriorate. Both sides traded accusations after the latest incident on Sunday, which was the most serious yet in the waters around the disputed Second Thomas Shoal, though no one was harmed. So apparently, I found out reading through this the resupply mission for the Philippines is there's this ship that they have run aground like on the shoal, and like there's troops there, and they've had this for a very long time, and essentially they have to get supplies to them, and in the process of this mission, I guess there was this Chinese like ship, or I think there might have even been like several ships involved, but they wind up like surrounding the Philippine vessels, and then like one Coast Guard ship, one of the Philippine ships, like wind up just like bumping dangerously. That was a phrase used. So from China's end, they're blaming the Philippine boats. And then from the Philippines, they're saying, no, they intentionally tried to ram us. They were trying to stop us. And not to mention, we're allowed to be here. We are going to our shoal, which is something that, a lot of countries recognize. Obviously a big ally being the U.S., as well as some others. But for China, they're like, we don't care. Like, we hear you, but we are not caring or really, we're ignoring that shit. Who gives a fuck? This is our area. So, they've been accused of like doing illegal expansion. For them, they're just like, no, you guys are like trying to illegally claim water that's not yours, territory that's not yours, what have you. So this has kind of been an ongoing thing since Bongbong Marcos, who is the president of the Philippines, since he came into power. He's more or less been running the show and teaming up with the U.S. Granted, I could go into a whole deep dive about the bad and the ugly about Bongbong Marcos and the Marcos family, but it would take a lot of time and I'd still miss a lot. So, but needless to say, that's our partner. We're buddied up with them. So what the Philippines are saying goes. Also, I mean, they have had a running escalation here. I think August 5th, there was a situation where Chinese ships were like water cannon blasting these Philippine ships for being in what they deemed their waters. So, this has definitely been an escalating conflict. dispute, maybe I should say. I don't know. But yeah, I figured, I'd cover that. I think that happened, Sunday? And then, statements have kind of been issued, as of today. But let me go ahead and read my highlighted. Yeah. The regular supply missions are for a handful of Philippine troops living aboard an aging warship that was deliberately run aground on the Second Thomas Shoal in 1999 to assert Manila's sovereignty claims. So it's like, yeah, we got a whole ship here. It's our spot. Finders keepers. Yeah, that's it. I feel like that's covered for that. On our next bump, we have the Associated Press. Hamas frees 2 Israeli women as U.S. advises delaying ground war to allow talks on captives. So now 2 more women have been released. I know previously we had talked about a daughter or a mother and daughter that were visiting from Chicago, and they wound up getting, kidnapped by Hamas, and then they were released. But now 2 more elderly Israeli women were released. Hamas on Monday released 2 elderly women held hostage in Gaza as the United States expressed increasing concern that the escalating Israel-Hamas war will spark a wider conflict in the region, including attacks on American troops. Let's see here. Also added to, I wanted to kind of cover this while it's in this article. A third small aid convoy from Egypt entered Gaza, where the population of 2.3 million has been running out of food, water, and medicine under Israel's sealed border, with Israel still barring entry of fuel. The UN said its distribution of aid would grind to a halt within days when it can no longer fuel its trucks. Gaza hospitals, flooded by a constant stream of wounded, are still struggling to keep generators running to power life-saving medical equipment and incubators for premature babies. Also, there's still a threat of being bombed despite being in a hospital. That's still an issue. I've heard situations of literally the bombing, even though people have moved to the south, it's still so bad that you're like, well, why am I making myself hide out in the shelter in this area when it's like I could just go back to my house? Like, if it's the same situation, why did I leave? So I've heard shit literally just so bad. They're like, no, I'll take my chances back in the north where they are for sure going to be bombing, potentially even invading soon. They've also been doing skirmishes in terms of small entrances into Gaza, doing a little bit of forays, like taking out gunners, things like that, checking out, areas where they think maybe hostages might be, what have you. But not still, they're still not doing the full-on ground war. That still hasn't been, there's no timeline listed or anything like that. We have no idea how long this could be. It could take months. It could take years of, potential invasion into an somewhat, whatever you'd call an occupation or whatever you want to call what they would be doing. We don't know yet. So, but back to the hostages. The 2 freed hostages, 85-year-old Yosheved Leshitz and 79-year-old Nurit Cooper, were taken out of Gaza at the Rafah crossing into Egypt, where they were put in ambulances, according to footage shown on Egyptian TV. The 2 women, along with their husbands, were snatched from their homes in the kibbutz of Niraz, near the Gaza border, during Hamas's October 7th rampage into southern Israeli communities. Their husbands, ages 83 and 84, were not released. So, obviously that part is unfortunate. I've also heard and seen here in this article that the number of hostages has kind of gone up. I initially heard that it was 200, then it went to 205. Now I'm hearing it's 220. So I don't know. I'll just keep you posted on this shit as I get more information. Also, I think that there was a bad Israeli strike. I think they accidentally were shooting tanks or something off, tank artillery, and they hit Egypt or something like that. I'm kind of freewheeling that information, so feel free to Google that or whatever. But let's move out of Israel, Gaza. Let's take it to the States. We're done for the international news. We're actually talking cop news. From the Insider, a manhunt is underway for the Nashville police chief's son, who is suspected of shooting 2 police officers. Let's see here. A manhunt is underway in Tennessee for the Nashville police chief's son, who is the suspect in the shooting of 2 police officers. The officers were investigating a stolen vehicle when the suspect shot them with a handgun outside a Dollar General store. Laverne Police Chief Christopher Moez, Mouz, I don't know, alleged, per the Associated Press. John C. Drake Jr., the son of Metro Nashville Police Department Chief John Drake, was identified as the suspect. The police officers were taken into Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville and were in stable condition, said Ann Smith, a excuse me. Oh boy, sorry. A spokesperson for the city of Laverne, per the outlet. My bad. The Nashville police chief released a statement confirming that his estranged son was a suspect. I am shocked and deeply saddened to learn that my estranged son, with whom I have very minimal contact over the years, is a suspect in this afternoon's shooting of 2 Laverne police officers. Oops, scrolled up. Drake said, despite my efforts and guidance in the early and teenage years, my son, John Drake Jr., now 38 years old, resorted to years of criminal activity and is a convicted felon. He now needs to be found and held accountable for his actions. So yeah, I mean, I really do low-key feel like, I know maybe this is me being morbid, what have you, but like, this could be like a movie or something. I don't know. Obviously I'm glad that, no one was killed in this situation. That's good. But, yeah, apparently, the apple fell pretty far from the tree, I guess, in this situation. And now, he is on the run, Drake Jr., that is. And I guess it's kind of like his dad is like the chief tasked to catch him, bring him in. I don't know. I feel like that writes itself. All right, we have one more story, and it is a cop story. I mean, technically a former cop, but yeah, cops, drugs, about to mix. Okay, from USA Today. Ex-NYPD officer charged with selling fentanyl and heroin on duty, prosecutors say. A former New York Police Department officer is now facing charges of selling fentanyl and heroin, with prosecutors even saying she negotiated drug deals while on the job. Grace Rosa Baez, 37 years old, of the Bronx, was arrested last Thursday and is charged with conspiracy to distribute heroin and fentanyl and 3 counts of narcotics distribution. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York said in a news release Friday. Cesar Martinez, 43 years old, of Yonkers, faces identical charges, prosecutors said. Martinez and Baez shared an apartment, according to the news release. According to NBC News, Baez resigned from the NYPD on Sunday. She had been an officer with the department since 2012, according to the prosecutors. Prosecutors alleged that Baez and Martinez had numerous conversations with a confidential source working with law enforcement regarding wholesale narcotics trafficking, beginning on or about October 9th. On October 16th, Baez met the confidential source in Yonkers near the apartment she shared with Martinez. Prosecutors allege that during the meeting, Baez handed the confidential source a plastic candy container and indicated there was a fentanyl sample inside. The bottle contained a small clear bag filled with white powdery substance, which was later tested and confirmed to be fentanyl. After Baez's arrest Thursday, law enforcement officers approached the apartment she and Martinez shared and saw a package of suspected narcotics being thrown from inside the apartment to outside the apartment. Inside the apartment, officers discovered a kilogram press machine as well as additional suspected narcotics that Martinez had apparently attempted to throw outside. Grace Rosa Baez took an oath to protect and serve the people of New York City. As alleged, she flagrantly violated that oath by pushing poison, including fentanyl and heroin, which are driving the nation's deadly opioid crisis and have been responsible for thousands of tragic deaths in the city and around the nation. That was U.S. Attorney Damian Williams from a news release. So yeah, I was surprised about this. I mean, at the same time, no, like yet again, kind of like the fucking movies, except this is like more like The Shield or something, or like The Wire, I guess more like TV. But dirty cop, dirty cop. Also, I know this is fucked up. I'm problematic for saying this. This is bad. This is toxic. This is me. This is bad cishet male behavior, but she's a hot cop. She is a hot cop. It's bad. I saw her and Mrs. Officer just started blaring in my head. Oh gosh. Very terrible. But it's a cruel irony, like where it's just like you guys are supposed to be protecting and serving, and it turns out these motherfuckers are just serving and swerving, so you hate to see it. That is corrupt system at work, but I guess in a way, justice is served, right? But yeah, I don't know. Selling shit out of like a gum wrapper. I think it was like a Mentos bottle. Yeah, that was the kind of shit she was like pushing this shit out of. But yeah, that is the episode. That's all we have for today. If you'd like to support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. You do become a newsie. I shout you out at the top of the month, and I also plug a project thing you're doing if you'd like. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com, and then you can also find me on all the socials, and hopefully you're following me on YouTube. It really helps out a lot. If you are, hit that bell, hit the thumbs up on this one, leave a comment. That always helps out a lot. That's great for me. Hopefully it's positive. And, all the stars, whatever platform thing you're on, that helps, hopefully you followed, subscribed, doing that thing there too. But yeah, hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.